Hi there, my name's Alex Lomangino. I live here in Vancouver, and I want to tell you a little bit about why we do ministry here in our city. So according to the North American Mission Board, the Greater Vancouver area accounts for about 2.8 million people. And what is scary is that 97% of them are not Christian. That's pretty staggering when you think about a North American city. That's a lot of people who don't know about Jesus and may spend an eternity separated from him. On top of that, Vancouver is very strategic when you think about it being a global city. Currently, it is a gateway to East Asia for people coming into North America. According to Statistics Canada, close to 390,000 Chinese people live in the Greater Vancouver area, and that number is growing more and more each and every single year. So much so that the Vancouver Sun has labeled Vancouver as one of the most Asian cities outside of Asia. So we have a chance to reach Canada because of Vancouver's influence, the Pacific Northwest, down into the United States, and also the world through Vancouver. I would love to tell you a little bit about how I ended up here in Vancouver, Canada. So while I was at Midwestern Baptist Seminary in Kansas City, I met a man named Jerry Connor, and Jerry was a church planting missionary in our city for about 8 or 9 years. And he was at the school sharing with future pastors and missionaries about his experience here in Canada, particularly in Vancouver. And I remember Jerry coming and just talking about the immense number of lost people that were here in the city, as well as the unique challenges that we face. And the Lord just did something in my heart there in the moment. I remember feeling very angry, hearing that there was a place in North America where close to 97% of people are not Christian. I mean, the United States is just about an hour south, one of the most Christian nations in the world, with all of these luxuries, and yet there was a place where, in North America, in Canada, where some people had never even heard about Jesus. So I was fascinated by it. So Jerry and I met once, and then through that got in contact with some workers here on the ground. And eventually the Lord opened the door for me to come on a short trip to kind of see the city myself and hear a little bit about what God was doing. And I remember getting off the plane and seeing the people and seeing the city, and I just knew that the Lord wanted me here soon. So I came back, was told to raise some money. And after 2 trips to Vancouver, I made 2 trips to Vancouver, came back, was told to raise some money, had no training and how to do it. I just remember talking about the passion the Lord was building in my heart, and he provided the way. And now I've been here for a little over 2 years now, seeking to share the gospel and make disciples here in our city. So Vancouver is a very challenging place, and I'll just name a few of our challenges. So it is very expensive. In fact, it's the second most expensive city in North America, and it actually has one of the highest cost of living for housing in the world. So that has made it very hard for not only for Christian workers, pastors, missionaries to make it in our city, but as well as the people. So therefore, a lot of people don't feel like they can stay in the city for very long. They're very temporary, which creates a unique challenge when you're trying to develop relationships and share the gospel. Another unique challenge related to it being expensive is there are a lot of rich people here in the city. And rich people are not always the most open to hearing about Jesus. In fact, they think that they have everything they need already. They can't imagine how they need the Lord, and they try to find their peace and their satisfaction in money. But what's scary is that we have a very high percentage of people who struggle with emotional issues. It's because they're trying to fill their pain and fill their lives with material possessions, and it doesn't satisfy. So therefore, there is a lot of depression, people who feel like they want to hurt themselves, and much, much more. And then finally, people are just really difficult to approach. The number one complaint in Vancouver is loneliness, but yet no one talks to each other. So that makes it really hard when you're thinking about how do I just make a friend, let alone share the gospel. So there are a lot of things that we face on each and every single day that make ministry difficult, but we can rely on the Lord and ask for his help and pray that he opens doors for the gospel to go forth. You know, Paul, in his letters to the churches, was constantly asking people to pray for open doors, and I'd ask for you to do the same. So I was sent to Vancouver by the North American Mission Board. I work within their SEND City Initiative as a part of the SEND network, which is focused on multiplying disciples and churches in major cities around North America. So yeah, I've been here for close to 2 years now, and I've had the chance to work with local church planting teams, coming alongside them and training people in evangelism and how to make disciples on their own. I've provided support for some of our smaller, suffering churches here in the city by teaching them how to reach out, filling roles in preaching, and serving them. And really my vision for the future is I would love to see a network of simple, biblical, and reproducible churches form here in the city. As I said, one of our unique challenges is how expensive the city is. So having a building or building a building will be very, very, very difficult. So I want us to go back to the book of Acts and see how it is that the early church spread the gospel shortly after Jesus rose from the dead. And I would love to see that happen here in our city. So the name of the network that I hope to see started here in the city is called Zoe, and that is the Greek word for life. And really what I want to see happen is I would love to see the greater Vancouver area find and experience new life with Jesus. And I believe as the people in the Vancouver area find and experience new life with Jesus, that we'll see the face of Canada change, because Vancouver is very influential. It will infect down into Seattle, and we hopefully will see people in Seattle experience new life with Jesus as well. And Lord willing, we'll be able to send some people who are here from around the world back home to extend new life with Jesus to other people as well. So if that's something that you're excited about, I'd love to have you come visit me sometime or reach out, and we can talk more and more and more about what it is that God is doing here in our city.